Hi guys, my name is Joe,
And I'm Tyler, and welcome to Dad Spikes.
where we answer your questions in 10 minutes. Let's go!
Okay, so I have this question because recently
Yes.
I engaged with some gathering and this pop up and I thought it's interesting to get different perspective. If you realize that your kid is slow in learning in any way,
Okay.
would you force your kid to learn, or will you just let nature take its course? I mean, and I'll give an example, right? So I recently I went to this gathering, and
Right.
then there was this father who felt that his son was not learning how to walk, or for
Okay.
that matter, not learning how to crawl, and his son was 7
okay.
months old, which I felt was a bit early to be stressed about.
Yeah.
But then,
Okay.
what he did was he did a lot of things to force his son to learn to crawl and then to learn to walk. So what did he do? I wouldn't say here, but would
Right.
yeah, I just want to put out that question and get different perspectives. Would you?
Okay. Okay, so personally, when I meet my wife's friend, I think specifically this one kid,
Yep.
he is 1 month older than my daughter.
Uh-huh.
And he used to be physically faster than my daughter. When I say physically, because my daughter was starting to talk more and recognize more
Yep.
then faster than him. But
Okay.
now he is also in recognition and speech wise faster as well, or just as fast, I would say. And every single time that I meet up, I feel like, hey, is there something that I'm not doing enough for my kid that she is maybe lagging behind. I actually honestly do not know whether it's an actual thing that she's lagging behind, but I think in comparison,
Yep.
it seems that she's lagging. But
Okay.
ultimately, I do not take any action. Reason
Okay.
being, I think so far my experience with her is that she will pick it up.
Okay.
Just give her time, she will pick it up. Like, I think like walking itself, we didn't force her to walk. We gave her, like the walker. If she wants to play with it, she play with it. We won't like force her on the walker every time, stuff like that. And she picked it up, and then she will just do it. And a lot of things that she does now is actually she picked it up herself. We just lay it out, we give her the opportunity to try, and she'll pick it up. I think what I want to point out about what your experience has is I think the bigger issue is not whether the kid can or cannot. I think it becomes whether if the kid is very, very far behind. If let's say the kid at 2 years old doesn't know how to walk, then
Yeah.
yes, that's a very big concern there. Then I
Yeah.
think that becomes a medical question, not just a question. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, so I think the bigger issue here is actually external factors. So I realized that, based on my experience itself, it's me comparing my daughter with somebody else, and I feel that, something's lacking, something's not, so on and so forth, which I
Yeah.
don't think is accurate. To be honest, I think every kid has their own learning pace. So you take both our kids, for example, your older kid and my kid. You say your kid was picky eater. My kid eats everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to each is their own. I don't think there's a right or wrong to that. It's just
Yep.
what not. But I wouldn't. Okay, coming back to the original question, which is I won't push. I don't think there's a need to push. I think they will actually honestly pick it up until, like I mentioned, it's too late. I think there's going to be always very big external factors that come into play. And why I say that is, like, even for my own daughter, there's always comparisons. Like, our parents
Yes.
always say, like, hey, my parents said I was toilet trained when I was 1 year old. Yeah,
Wow.
okay. Yeah, it's wow, right? I cannot imagine as well. So there's always some comparisons. That I'm not going to force my daughter to be toilet trained by 1 year old or 2 years old just because I so-called did it then. I think it's just that. If anything, I think sometimes it backfires. The kid just doesn't want to do it, then you force the kid to do it. The kid will start screaming and everything. But I think that's so far based on my experience. No lah. I think they will pick it up. Actually, I guess the question is why the rush? Why you want the kid to crawl so fast? Actually, after my kid being able to walk, right? I think going so fast lah. You can lie down there a bit more.
Yeah, right. I mean, eventually everybody knows how to use the toilet, so you don't need to be in the toilet in that 1 year old.
Yeah. So I think that's my thoughts on it. How about you?
Yeah. So I think I share very similar sentiments with you mentioned the part about just wanting to rush, them their time, just stressing themselves. But I do notice this quite a bit from parents nowadays. Like they're comparing. Actually, it's not only our parents, even parents, they'll be comparing. Hey, how's your kid doing? Oh, mine is just 1 month behind you. How come he doesn't know it yet? Even when I bring my second one to infant care with the other parents, you'll be asking like, is she learning to walk now? Is she learning to sit up now? Or her teeth grow out already or not? That kind of thing. I realize that a lot of parents do that.
Right.
It's probably out of concern. My kid is not able to be. Should I be concerned? But I think today's medical system is very good, right? Because all kids in Singapore, we need to be registered with MOH and a very comprehensive program whereby you go in at X amount of months old, and then there's a certain progress part that you can actually monitor, and then the PDs will also advise you, or educate you you're not doing this, and maybe this is what you offer advice, like what are the programs. So that is actually, I feel, a very good benefit. Like, if the PDs voice out that it should be a concern, then yes.
Right, true.
But for that particular case, or rather for some cases, I also realized that it's a very competitive nature of I'm not sure if you recall, but we have a common friend. So when my first one was 7 months old and she learned to stand up, that common friend's son is 11 months old and he couldn't stand up. He doesn't want to stand up. He's still sitting. And then he became very concerned. At the moment, I thought it's because of the nature. So I can't verify that, but that's how I feel. Because I have friends whose son only started walking at the age of 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. I mean, he's like, eventually to walk from the therapy. And what happened is, he concluded that his son was pure lazy because at 18 months when he started to walk, he could almost like run.
Right.
Yeah, it's like almost immediately the kind of thing. So it's either his son has been walking without him noticing for the past how many months, or literally he skipped all the phases. So yeah, so that actually showed me that actually a lot of things you don't really have to rush. It eventually I will come. But of course, if let's say as a parent you are concerned, you definitely get let out. Or as a parent if you're competitive, then I mean by all means, I do what you want to satisfy your husband, number one, right? But then again, I think from a kid's perspective, I'm with you on that, meaning they will eventually learn and but it's surprising that from this particular conversation I had, this guy who's pushing his son to crawl and walk at 7 months, right? It's surprising that actually there are methods that actually works. So it also gave me an enlightenment that a lot of today's athletes and today's super smart kids and stuff, right? They can actually be nurtured. They can actually be trained up. So it's whether you want to put like stress it and to yourself, or you just want to let your kids enjoy the only
Enjoy life.
few moments in their life where they'll be generally very genuinely happy.
Yeah, that's actually quite true. Yeah, but I'm still no lah. I'm still for the only lah. What's with the comparison?
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm likewise. I'm also same as you, so that's our preference. So different people, a different preference. I don't need my kids to healthy.
I'm going to put another factor in.
Yeah,
I'm wondering whether it's Singapore.
could be.
And why I say that is reason being, so my perspective on Singapore, which may be wrong because it's a personal take, is
Yep.
that there is always a way to do things. So that means if let's say there is something that is to be done, there is always somehow a guidebook. There is a steps to it
Yeah.
in Singapore, right? And because of that, everybody think that there is a right and there's a wrong way of doing things. And
Yeah.
I think that just sort of trickles down to having a kid where, there's the right way, the kid must grow up the right way and the kid
Yeah,
must hit
correct.
this milestone at this age, And actually, no, it's fine, let the kid be. I didn't have a child, the best of my childhood because my parents kept forcing stuff on me, So that's all I remember now. I'm not sure. I don't think that's what they want out of their kid as well. Can you imagine the kid coming back to you? Say, you last time forced me to walk when I was 7 months old. But yeah, so I think, yeah, that's my personal thing. I just think that there are certain things that I think it's a societal culture that maybe trickles down to bringing up kids.
Yeah. I fully agree that the society is culture.
Yeah, but then we can discuss that in another session.
Definitely.
Okay, and that's the Dad Bite.
Right.